Guys, this is Fancy Stitches and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be making this beautiful off-shoulder dress with basque waistline. So as you can see here, I've already sketched out my design on my paper. This is the front. Here is the front of my gown and this is the back. So this thing here is the cape. This is going to be the cape, and this also I'm going to run a princess dart across, just like this, just the way this gown is now. That's what I will be making, and it's called an off-shoulder dress with basque waistline. So guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. To start up with this tutorial, I'm going to use this beautiful Lakra material, pink Lakra material, for this tutorial. And as you can see, I folded my fabric into two. The first thing that I'll cut here is the front part. So for you to fold your fabric into two, then you have to decide the biggest body part, which is the hip. Then I divided it by 4, which gave me 9.5 inches, and I added 9.5 inches, which is my hip measurement, and I added about 6 inches to it, which is for my A-line, for the A-line. So here I'll start off by minusing 5 inches from my shoulder line. From my shoulder line to my bust is 9 inches. Under bust is 12 inches, and my half length, which is 15 inches. Then to my hip is 24 inches. I'm going to draw a straight line across this marked point. So guys, don't forget that this is my bust line, my under bust line, waistline, and my hip line. I'm cutting directly on my fabric. So then for my bust palm, which is my nipple to nipple measurement, is 7 inches, divided by 2 is 3.5 inches, but I'll be adding half inch, which is 4 inches sewing allowance. Then after that, the next thing to mark here is my dart. This is my bust line, don't forget that. So I'll come over to my waistline and measure 1 inch dart from this side, and also half inch from my bustier side. So I took half an inch from this side and took 1 inch from this side. Then the same thing applicable to my under bust. I took half an inch from my bustier side and also took 1 inch here. Then from my bust line, I came down by 1 inch. So I'm going to connect from my bust line. I'll go up by 1 inch, and after that, from my bust palm line, which is this line, I'll be subtracting 1.5 inches from this side and 1 inch from this side. So I'm going to connect the line. To mark my body measurement, my bust divided by 4 will give me 8.8 inches. Then adding extra 2 inches allowance. Then coming up to my chest line, here I will measure my shoulder line, which is 8 inches, mark and add about 2 inches, making it 10 inches. Then I'll come down by 3 inches. From this my marked point here, which is 2 inches, from this my marked point I'll come down by 3 inches. My waist measurement divided by 4 will give me 7.2. My waist measurement is the same thing as my under bust, 29 inches. Then I'll be adding this dart, which is 1.5 inches. Then add my 2 inches allowance to it. Then I'll also mark my 10.2 inches on my waistline also. So this is it for my upper bust here. Then for the basque effect set at my waistline, I placed my tape at my waistline and came down by 5 inches. So to connect it, I'll place my ruler very well and connect the line. So here, for my hip measurement divided by 4 will give me 9.5 inches. So I'll mark my 9.5 inches here, adding my 2 inches allowance. So I'll connect this point here to my waistline. Another thing here is that I'll be connecting this dart down to my basque waistline, and my knee length from my
hip line down to my knee length is 13 inches.
13 inches and draw a straight line. Here for my knee length, I'll be using 10 inches. I'm going to connect it up to my hip. And I have to extend my dart. I went ahead to adjust my material, and the full length of this dress is 60 inches, which is here. So I will now go ahead to connect it from this my knee line down to the dress length. So the next thing that I will do here is to cut it out. I'm done with the front part. Sorry guys, I forgot to cut my neckline width, my off shoulder neckline width, and for my neckline width I came down by 1.5 inches. So I'm going to slant it like this. So this is it for my front part. Then I'll go ahead and cut the back pattern. So guys, to cut the back of my dress, I went ahead to draw this line which you see here. That is my zipper line. Then this is my bust line, my under bust line, waistline, then my back effect line, that is this line. Then this is my hip. Then here is my knee line, I went ahead to mark my dart, which is 4 inches. After drawing my bust palm line, the next thing that I will do here is from my bust line, I'll come down by 1 inch, measure out half an inch this side, then half an inch at the other side. I'll do the same at my under bust, half an inch from both sides. Then I'm going to connect it. Then after that, I'll come over to this side and measure out 7 inches. 7 inches, and I came down by 3 inches for my armhole. Then I'm going to connect it to this point here. For my neckline, to go down by 2 inches. So I'll connect it like this. Then the next thing that I'll do here is to take my body measurements.
Just the way I did at the front pattern. So guys, the next thing is to cut out the back pattern.
I went ahead to notch my darts. That's what I'll have. So guys, I went ahead to cut out my bustier. I used a soft padded for this, and you can see how it really came out. I also went ahead to join my darts. This for the front part, then this for the back. I went ahead to iron it. Then this is the back. I'll fix a zipper here for my front bustier. I'll go ahead now and I'll join my lining and my bustier like this. It's going to be like this because I'm going to put cape at the upper part here. It's going to have cape. To cut the cape of my bustier, what I will do here is that I'm going to first of all draw a straight line. Then what I did on my bustier was my bust palm measurement, which I used 4 inches. So I marked 4 inches like this. And the next thing I will do here is to subtract 1 inch from this edge here. Then I'm going to come down. You know, my shoulder measurement is 8 inches. I'm using my shoulder measurement of 8 inches. So this is my 8 inches, and I'll come down by 2 inches. 2 inches. Then I'm going to make a curved line like this, and also like this as well. I'll come down by 3 inches. I'll mark my 3 inches all the way. If you wish, you can also extend this line. So I'll extend this line here and also here too. So I'm going to cut it out now. So after cutting, this is what I will have. If you open it up, for my front bustier, I'm going to divide these two parts. So I'll take it to my machine now and stitch up this. I'm going to cut another pieces of this and take it to my machine and stitch up this part here to give it that sweetheart neckline. So guys, after stitching up my cape, this is how it's going to look on my dress, on top of my bustier. This is how it's going to look, exactly like this. I'll also take it to my iron now and give it a good press, but I want to show you guys how it's going to look. And also I'll also go ahead to attach it, and to attach your cape you have to place it this way. Make sure that this middle part, which is this part, and here is the same. Then you stitch up like this. From here you stitch up up to this end, then turn over, you flip it over and top stitch on it. Finally, this is my end result. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like, comment and share. Thank you for watching.